I was not disciplined before, as I told you, a lot of credit cards. And at the end of the month, it's like I did not really earn anything. It went all to the credit cards and everything I spent before I earned. But now,
the glitz and glam is the fame, but it's the work backstage that makes the game. I'm Crystel and Bandal, your host. Come with me behind the lens and watch their stories unfold. Our next guest is another creative that I know very well. I've worked with him before and have attended many of his events, and that's the first hint that you got there. He is a creative artist in the different areas of entertainment and design that I love the most, and that is events and interior designing. So he is an event director. He produces many events, fashion shows, concerts. He does interior designing, and he is also starting to do real estate. And I'm really excited to see what his story holds, how he started, what inspires him, who inspired him, how he's gotten to where he is today. So please welcome onto the show with me here at Behind the Lens, Albie Pri. We're in a completely new setting now, in a different location in your wonderful home. Do you want to talk about how you started in interior designing?
okay, when I was young, my mother goes to the market. Every time that she goes to the market, she always tells, okay, I will bring you something if you will do the cleaning in the house. So yeah, I'm excited because every time she comes home, she brings a toy or a nice food. So what I do, I clean the house, I fix everything. And then my mother loves to make curtains, cushions, table covers like that. So I think I got her talent as well. I inherited her talent. So when I finished high school, everybody asked me, oh, what would you like to do in college? And I say, if I don't get an acceptance in a university who offers interior design, I will just, I will not do anything. I will just, stay at home and not study anymore. So I applied. I know that it's the best school in interior design in Manila. It's called University of Santo Tomas. So I applied, and then I took an entrance exam. Like here in Australia, you have to apply in a university to get that spot. So I took the exam, and then after a month, the result got released, and then I was excited. I went to the university and look at my name in the list. So I started from the bottom going up like that. My name was not there, and then I did not see my name.
Oh,
and oh my gosh, I did not make it. Yeah, so I was so disappointed. And then my friend told me, you have to go back there and look at your name again. Maybe it's there. And I said, no, I will not, go to the university anymore. And he said, go back there and see. Maybe you just missed your name. And then I went there, and then I look at it again. It's not there. But there's a separate board which says top 10.
Oh, wow!
And I did not see it. And I look at the top 10. I was top 3.
Oh my
I
gosh!
was jumping and jumping, screaming and screaming. And I said, oh my gosh, this is really my life. So yeah, I got a scholarship, and I continued. And we were not rich, so that school is expensive. And my mother was saying, oh, how can we afford? And I said, I told them, I've got scholarships, so don't worry. But then the expenses are very expensive as well. To take interior design in the Philippines is, a big deal. So what can we do? So I just told them, I can work, as a tutor for kids. And my sister told me as well, I will help you. So we help each other. And I work part-time, and I was very active in extracurricular activities as well, like putting, like small events as well, organizing events at school. So it helped in, promoting my name in the school. So when I graduated, in the university, I was so lucky to receive the Presidential Award for extracurricular activities for organizing events and being active in the student council for the whole 4 years in the university. And then the bonus is I graduated cum laude. So it was a hard work. I was very thin. I was the ugliest student at that time because I worked really hard. But it paid well. And then after working, I did not look for a job. One big company wrote to me and they offered me a job straight away. So I worked with them for 2 years. And then suddenly, while I was working, in their company at lunchtime, I went out to get some food and I saw people queuing in one of the agencies there. And I asked them, oh, what are you queuing about? And they said, oh, we're applying for a job overseas. And I said, overseas? That might be a good, idea. So I queued as well without knowing what job it is. So, and then they interviewed me and they said, they asked me, what's your skill? And I told them I do visual merchandising, interior design and everything. And they said, oh, good, because there is an employer from Dubai who needs a visual merchandiser in the company. And will be your salary, blah, blah, blah. And then, after 1 week, the employer came and they interviewed me and they offered me a salary, but it's too low. And I said, oh my gosh, I would rather work in the Philippines if I get this, this salary. It's too low. So I said, no, I am not interested. And then after a week again, the agency rang me and they said, there's another employer in Saudi Arabia who needs an interior designer. And I said, how much is the pay? And they said, this is the pay and you don't have to pay any agency fee and also your ticket going to Saudi Arabia. So it's all expenses paid and, the salary is good. So I said, oh my gosh, yeah, I like it. Yeah. So I gave them permission to send my resume to Saudi Arabia. And then after a week, they rang me and they said, you're hard. And I said, yo, why is that? And I did not even have an interview. And they said, they just, wrote to us, you're hired. And then I told my mother, oh, I'm hired. I will go to Saudi Arabia. And then my mother said, no, that's too good to be true. Maybe they will, make you as a slave there or something. Yeah, no, don't. And I said, to be a slave in the kingdom. Okay, so I told my mother, give me a chance. If I don't like it, I'll come home. And she was so nervous because it will be my first time to go overseas. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to wash my clothes because she's always the person who's fixing my clothes, fixing my food and everything. So it will be a new chapter of my life there. And I said, it's all right. I will probably be able to live there. So they processed my papers and then I was able to get there. And to my surprise, when I arrived, I saw people in the university who's been there and some of my friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they told me, that's the reason why you got the job. We told them that we know you. And I said, oh, yay! So, yeah, it wasn't, a bad thing for me. And that's where I learned, and improved my skills. And I worked there for 8 years. Wow. And I was lucky. After 2 years, they promoted me to become the interior design supervisor in one of the branches. So I spent my last 5 years there, and the clients are good. I was able to work with the King of Saudi Arabia at the time, designing palaces, and also his son, Prince Mohammed bin Fahad. All the maids and everything are Filipino, so I was able to work with him very well, and other prince and princesses. So it was a big exposure to me.
You knew
you already had a passion for interior designing even before events. So even when you were younger, you know how to do things around the house, you know how to decorate things because your mom, you got that skills and keen eye for design from your mom.
That's correct.
How did she feel after you being in Saudi Arabia for so long? How did she feel about it being a successful thing for you to do?
Yeah, she's always communicating with me. I always call her every week. And I was there during the Gulf War, and my family was devastated because we cannot leave the country during the Gulf War, and they're bombing all the the places in Saudi Arabia already. So I just thought that maybe this is the place for me to die already.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we moved from one city to another, and the Scud missile seems to follow us wherever we go. So it was a very tenseful, scary time for me in Saudi Arabia at that time. For 1 month, we've been fleeing around, moving around, and my mother was and all my sisters they keep on calling me, but there's no way because there's no mobile phone yet at that time. So we have to rely on like the Telstra booth. They've got also a telephone booth there. So when we get a chance, we go to a telephone booth, but you have to queue.
Oh yeah.
Big queue, and you talk to them for a few minutes.
Wow. Would you say that's probably the most challenging thing you had to do?
Yeah.
How did you overcome, how were you able to keep yourself together? Because that must have been a really, like you said, it was a frightening experience. You thought that that's where your life was going to end. How did you keep yourself together through that time?
Well, with the help of my friends, because we cannot do anything, and prayer. We keep on praying and asking for God to protect us and save us, because the first day that we flew from Jeddah to Riyadh, it was a mistake really, because we thought that we will be safe in the main city, but that was the first city that they bombed. So we were about the place where we stayed, it's about 30 meters away from our accommodation. So when the Scud missile hit that building, it shook, and we were crying because we thought that it was a biological weapon, and they hit the building and a lot of people died.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So after that, we flew again to another city, and the Scud went there again. But the first Scud, oh my gosh, we thought that we were gonna die already.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we strengthened our friendship, and we told each other, if you survive, please tell my sister, my wife, my husband that I love. It's something like the usual drama that you see on movie, but it's true. It happens in real life.
Yeah, well, usually it would come to that if you feel you're that scared for your life.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're gonna make it.
That's right.
Do you guys still talk to today? Your friends, you're still in touch. Were they all designing as well in interior design?
Some are interior designers, some are working as secretaries, like we call them secretary when they are working in data, recording and everything. Yeah.
If we were to go back to the places that you were able to design in Saudi Arabia, what would you say was your favorite at the time?
My favorite, probably the chalets.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing that because they are close to the sea. So you design things that are practical for the user. Unlike in palace, it's very standard. You put the usual conversational arrangement for sofas. Bedroom is like the size of a bedroom probably is the size of a basketball court. Yeah. So you don't know what to put there. It's too big. I can even put the whole house in this bedroom here, like that. So yeah, chalets are like terrace houses. So it's more manageable to design. And then the secret is if they I design the palace or chalet, I usually I don't give, because it's a turnkey job, I don't give the key until after 1 week. So I stay there for 1 week, enjoying, the chalet. So yeah, I use their dining table. I use the prince bedroom, and I sleep there. So I feel like a prince too. And one time, I did not expect that the prince will send his cleaner, Arab cleaner, to the house, and I was there, and I slept in the prince's bed. And then he's got a key. He opened the bedroom, and I saw him. And I said, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I'm the cleaner of the prince. I'm here to clean the place." And he said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm the designer. I'm just sleeping here, just testing the bed if it's nice or not."
So you're able to enjoy your creations.
That's right.
Before your actual clients.
Yeah.
You mentioned it was a challenge to design, let's say, such a big space for just one function, which is to become like a bedroom.
Yeah.
How are you able to overcome that, having so much space and not knowing what to do with it?
Yeah, so you have to, probably look at it as a, as a big space wherein you cannot put walls. It has to be an open space still. So you have to divide the area in several sections. And the best way to do that is to create a section using area rugs. So even if the space is big, and then you have probably a 3-seater and 2 armchairs with a big rug, then it defines the space with some accessories in it. So even the bed, you have to use king size bed, and then you have to add chairs on the side and everything, and then benches like that to occupy the space, and then you have to put a big Persian rug, so at least it covers most of the area. Because of the combination of colors and patterns, even if there's not much furniture, then the space will work.
So everything had to be seamless and it had to work together.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the way that we work there, we only see the prince or the king once. So you have to prepare everything, and then he just looks at it. How much? How much? Like that, and you tell him the budget, and say, "Okay, how long?" 1 month. Okay, and then he doesn't come anymore. So you have to do everything from their sleeper to their cutleries to the plates, napkins, and everything. So when they go there, they will not bring anything except their luggage only.
Wow.
So you do
so everything
for
had
them.
to be detailed again.
Yes.
So that one meeting that you get, you had to know everything that you have to discuss.
Correct.
And then you wouldn't see each other anymore until it's finished.
That's right. And before the presentation, you talk to the protocol. Okay, so they've got protocols. So you get information from the protocol, you prepare the design and the budget for them, and then presentation, he comes and he just looks at it for maybe 2 minutes, and then asks you how much.
Wow. Would you say that working with, let's say, the royal family over there is different to working with regular clients who probably wouldn't have who probably wouldn't have a bedroom as size as a basketball court?
That's
Would you
right.
say the experience is different when you're designing?
It's very different because you get so excited because gold taps, with those expensive things, and those Arab people, they've got living rooms with chairs like that, but they've got also Arabic seating and dining table, expensive dining table. They don't eat there; they eat on the floor. So it's amazing. You use those furniture, first. So I feel like I'm rich. I use the big golden dining table before I hand over the key to them. But it's 8 years there, so I got so bored again.
Oh, yeah.
I have to find another activity because in Saudi Arabia, it's not so flexible. You have to do traditional designs like French style, Italian style, like the Baroque, the Renaissance style. So it's always like that, and I was craving for some other forms of art, and I just thought that I've got more skills to offer to the world. So my sister, she communicated with me. She's been in Australia for a while. She married, an Australian. She said, "Why don't you try Australia? Australia is emerging and it's a developing country. This might be the place that you would like to live in for the rest of your life." So I said, "Okay, I'll give it a go." So I applied, and then I got, as soon as I applied, after 3 months, they gave me a permanent residency, especially because at that time, there's not much interior designer here in Australia, especially migrants. Okay, so I came to Australia, but I was applying for a job, and nobody wants to give me a job because they need local experience.
Oh, yeah.
I tell them, okay, give me a local experience. I've been designing for more than 10 years already, so you have to give me a local experience. And they said, no, you have to for you to be employed, you have to have a local experience in design. So I was so frustrated again. So for 3 months, I was just walking around, feeling like a tourist. In the morning, I wake up early, and then I take a train or a bus and go to the city and anywhere. So I explored probably the whole of Sydney for 3 months, doing nothing. So I told my sister, maybe this is not the place for me, really. Nobody wants to give me a job, even if I'm an experienced designer already. So she said, why don't you go back to school? You'll find friends there and you'll find connection. And I said, okay, I'll give it a go. So I enrolled at TAFE Design Center, and then they interviewed me. It's supposed to be a 3-year course. And they said, you've got the skill already. What you need is just a certificate. So why don't you take the interior decoration course? It's only 2 years. Make it full-time so you can get a job straight away. So I did that, but in the school, because I'm skilled already, I am teaching the other students, and the teachers, recognize it, and they said, you've got the skills. Okay, so that's good. So after finishing that course, I was able to get immediately a job, and also they rang me and they said, come back here, you can teach now. And I said, really? Yeah, because you've been teaching the students anyway. So at the same time, I was teaching part-time at night already, and I had my full-time job in a company.
Were you just teaching TAFE and then you're still doing it now, or did you change courses?
Yes, so I have to update. I have to take a course or training every 6 months, once a year, like that. So you have to keep on updating. Otherwise, especially right now, RTOs are monitored. So TAFE is the biggest, education provider in Australia. So they have to keep on updating, and also the skills of the staff. So, if the students are doing a lot of research, we are also doing research for our improvement. We have to fulfill the CPD points that they require. I think in any industry now, you are required to complete a particular CPD points to, continue your accreditation.
Wow, so it really is important, anything that you do, especially when it comes to design, to continuously improve your skill. Because would you say that the preferences before changed to the preferences now when it comes to designing an interior?
Preferences, when you say preferences, it probably involves, the look that the client would like to have. Of course, a lot of clients still they want traditional designs, but of course you cannot put too much traditional, because that's not the way that we live at the moment. So it has to combine with the present way of life that we have. Now kitchen is the most important area in the house, because that's where the whole family meets most of the time. So they do their eating, cooking, socialization, probably business in the kitchen now. So the kitchen should be suitable for all of those, functions. Yeah.
Wow. So when it comes to everyone's going to want different things, how are you able to say, okay, this is my recommendation for you, this is my recommendation for you? How are you able to determine what design you're going to create for a client?
The first thing is I ask them, how much is your budget? Because I can tell them fabulous things, but if they cannot afford it, it's useless. So tell me how much money you have, and I will design something that is suitable for your personality, for the way that you live at the moment, and for your budget.
So it just really goes back into that trust again, right?
Yeah.
When you're creating events, you have to have trust with the people that you're working with.
Yes.
And then you're also creating trust from the audience as well, because they like the show.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in interior design. Would you say that you also have like partnerships with like who supplies your rugs, your couches? How do you look for the things? Do you have people that you always go to?
Yes, so what happens is part of your CPD, you have to attend seminars, you have to attend trade exhibitions, and in doing that, you are able to meet people, like the exhibitions that happens in Darling Harbor, in Sydney Olympic Park. Every year, there's about 6 to 10 furniture shows and accessories exhibitions like that. You meet suppliers, so you give them your card, you get their card, and when you know them, or you know what to you need things, then you contact them and you establish relationships, so you get a better price. Like we interior designers have got a trade price, so if you buy the furniture, let's say 25% or 20% discount, your client will not get it, they will get 10% discount. So what happened is you give your full discount to the client, so they can save more. So it's like they did not even pay you, because the money that they've saved from purchasing all those materials and furniture, it came out from the discount that you have given them.
So you have people that you're connected to,
Yes.
and then you're creating new relationships every now and then you're always building upon it. That's really good.
Right.
So as a teacher, you've obviously gone through the changes as well with the students, and you mentioned before that you always have to be trained,
Yes.
because everything around us changes. And as an interior designer, the style changes, our way of living changes, and you need to be able to adapt to that. Going into the pandemic, everyone was at home. What were some of the challenges you faced as a teacher?
I have to retrain again. As I said, I did not know how to video call, even personal. I don't do video calls, so we have to get trained properly by TAFE to do it. How to set up the account that is linked to TAFE, and how you can manage your presentation and everything. So the students can pick up easily, but I think I'm old, so it will take a while for me to learn new things again. But it's necessary to learn new things, because again, if you don't update, then you are teaching students, so you have to be ahead of them. If they knew things more than you do, how can you teach?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's going to switch, and it's kind of like they're teaching you instead.
That's right.
Which is going to be a kind of weird.
Yeah, but the thing is, when the thing probably that I benefit from it is that I cannot do all the research in the world that is needed. So when I give them something to to submit as a research work, I learn from them as well. And sometimes I discover things that I did not know in the past through their research work. So that's why I love teaching, because at the same time I can share my skills, at the same time I learn from the students as well.
Wow, that's really good. So you're also teaching, but you have a business. We were also talking about, how did you start that business? When did you start it?
Oh, that was when I finished working with with the company. I put up a small furniture shop in Newtown. I just thought that I can survive already, and I put I can only put maybe 3 or 4 sofas and chairs and some accessories. It's a very small shop. And then after that, I got so busy I don't have time anymore to manage the shop because I have to be there 7 days a week. I cannot afford to hire, another person to look after the shop because it has to be a designer as well, okay, to do that. So I closed the shop, and then I was busy as well with the events and my clients in design. So I never looked back until now. I work on my own. The only probably thing that I did is to retrain again and learn more skills. Now I've finished my certificate for also in real estate, and I'm finishing my mortgage broker certificate for as well at the same time now. Yeah, so I added another business. What happens now is I can offer a new property to my client. I look after their mortgage, their borrowing, and at the same time I design. It's all in one shop. I'm a one-stop shop man now.
What got you into real estate? Why did you start exploring that side?
Oh, it's very interesting because the person that I was working with producing the fashion shows before, she got into real estate and she said, "Why don't you try as well? I think it's good, additional income." And I said, "Oh, I'm not interested." And she said, "Okay, you just come and listen to the presentation and we will sponsor your event." How good is that? I said, "Okay, sponsor the event. Okay, I'll come. But, don't expect that I will buy property or get into this thing. I'm not interested." And she said, it's fine. Yeah, just come." So I went there, and then I wasn't listening to the presentation. I said, blah, 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 blah. But somehow, in the middle of the presentation, something hits me. And they asked me, "Have you got a property yet?" And I said, "Oh, I don't have property. We've got 5, we've got 7, we've got 10. And I said, "How did they do that? They look very ordinary." And they started to tell their stories and everything. And I got more interested. And I just thought that, maybe it's time for me to buy a property here in Australia. And I don't know how to do it. So I went there every Thursday to listen to the presentation and everything, and I understood, oh, it's like that. If I knew these things, a few years ago, probably I did not, plunge myself into buying things that I did not really need, and I don't have it anymore. And I got, hundreds of credit cards, and, I just lost my money. And I learned they are Chinese, and I learned how they did it. So the first thing that they told me is to discipline yourself. What you have to do when you go home is to cut all your credit cards. And it was difficult in the beginning. I don't have any credit card now. I only have debit card. So I disciplined myself to spend only what I have in that card. And I avoided paying those interests and everything. So I was able to get a property and start. And now I'm sharing my experience to people to do it as well. It's not too late. I'm old already, but it's not too late. Yeah, and then I understand that it's very difficult for people to save. That's why I got into mortgage. I can help people now do their finances.
Wow, that's really nice. So it was the personal stories of other people that was able to inspire you.
That's right.
I think that also goes back into how you got into many of the other things that you're exploring. Like, let's say when it came to events, people just kind of like push you like, "Oh yeah, let's go, let's try it out." And then you learned to love it. You saw the beauty in it, and then you were able to master it, and you're still doing it now.
Yes.
And then when it's interior designing, it was your mom who brought you into that kind of world.
Yes.
And you're able to grab it, and you're able to travel the world with it too.
Yes.
And you're still doing it now. And aside from interior designing, you're now also a real estate agent,
Yes.
taking care of people. I think when you're taking care of people, you're also able to share this kind of story with them.
Yeah.
You're able to inspire them as well and show them that there's a better way. in doing things, and there's a way to achieve, because you're also a teacher.
That's right.
So you, as a teacher, you instinctively know how to deal with your clients, how to help them overcome their own challenges as well. And then you're also learning, what I love about you is that you're always improving your skill. That's kind of like a foundation of your success. You always prioritize updating. You always said that if you don't update, you're going to get left behind. So looking back into your whole interior design and real estate and helping other people in their finances, what would you say was the biggest lesson that you learned?
The biggest lesson is the discipline. I was not disciplined before. As I told you, a lot of credit cards. And at the end of the month, it's like I did not really earn anything. It went all to the credit cards and everything I spent before I earned. But now, if you look at my account, at least I've got this much money to spend for a new shoes maybe. And I can see it. It's not, when I get something, it's not, a credit anymore. It's from my own money. So I was able to improve my discipline in spending, and now I'm looking forward to expand my ownership of properties here and in the Philippines. So I just bought off the plan last month, and I'm excited. In 3 years' time, I will have that property again.
Wow, that's really exciting.
That's right.
You have gone through so many different areas in design and entertainment, and I'm sure there's many more to you in the future, many more plans and exciting goals that you're looking forward to. And you have such a beautiful home, so I think it's time to move to a new location, and let's talk about all things future.
Okay, excellent.
From a young age, he's explored the design industry, from learning to love interior designing from his mom. He's inherited that skill and that instinct to have a keen eye for design, and it's made him grow a sense of love and attachment to creating something so beautiful, not just for himself but for his clients as well. And aside from interior designing, he's also been able to expand his eye for design in events. He produces many successful events, as I've said before. But what I didn't realize, or what I hope for you guys to realize as well, is that there's a lot of work that goes into producing these events. And he talks about how you have to be really detailed. And aside from that, you also need to be able to create some really good relationships with the people that you work with, and also the audience, so that they can come back and build your reputation, and that you're able to create more and more events. I have really learned a lot from sitting and chatting with Albie today. I've learned to value education. I've learned how important it is to be versatile, be flexible, and continuously be willing to learn new things. You can never learn too much, and Albie is an example of that. And I really hope that you guys learn that from this interview as well. Now remember, there is a lot of hard work that goes into the successes that you have in life, and if you are going through a hard time in your passion, just keep going forward, because good things will come out of it. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys next time.